Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
From a dancing Kangana to pigeons for messengers, memes have flooded Twitter and Facebook in India today, with users fearing the worst, an end to their favorite social media platforms in the country. The reason being that the deadline for complying with the new intermediary guidelines, which were meant for big social media platforms, ends on Tuesday. And as per reports, social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook, which were required to abide by these new rules and adhere to them, have failed to comply on many counts till date. So in this video, I'll explain to you what a non-compliance of these rules means for these platforms. Now, the rules that we're talking about are the new Information Technology, Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules 2021, which were issued in February this year. They gave 3 months time to intermediaries to comply with certain requirements. Now, to clarify here, the current definition of intermediaries includes telecom service providers, network service providers, internet service providers, web hosting service providers, search engines, online payment sites, online auction sites, online marketplaces, and platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, blog posts, and WordPress. But the compliances that we're talking about here under the new rules with the 3-month deadlines pertain specifically to significant social media intermediaries, which are defined as social media companies that have more than 50 lakh users in India. Now, social media intermediaries specifically include messaging platforms such as WhatsApp, Signal, and Telegram, as well as social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, the central government has warned social media companies of action if they do not comply with the new guidelines, citing Rule 7 of the 2021 rules that were issued in February this year. Now, Rule 7 of these rules says that if any intermediary fails to comply with these rules, the provisions of Section 79 Subclause 1 of the Information Technology Act 2000 shall not apply to such an intermediary, basically making them liable for punishment under any law in India, including criminal prosecution under provisions of the Information Technology Act as well as the Indian Penal Code, basically threatening them with criminal action. Now, just to explain to you the context of taking away the protection under Section 79, let me explain to you what Section 79 entails in the first place. Now, Section 79 of the Information Technology Act is important here, as this is the immunity that the non-compliance takes away now. The provision basically codifies the Indian safe harbor regime, providing them, that is providing intermediaries with protection against liability for content posted on these websites by third parties. Section 79 says that subject to a few conditions, and I quote, an intermediary shall not be liable for any third-party information, data, or communication link made available or hosted by him. So it therefore grants them protection from legal liability that could arise from any action of users of those particular platforms. So the provision basically grants them protection from legal liability that could arise from any action of users that might be considered illegal as per the 2000 Act or any other law. So let me give you a few examples. Basically, in other words, such safe harbor provisions ensure that internet service providers like ISPs are not liable if their subscribers use the internet for unlawful acts. It makes sure that cloud service providers are not liable if people store illegal data on their server. It makes sure that e-commerce platforms are not liable if people sell spurious goods, and social media platforms are not liable if, say, people post defamatory content. So it acts as a protection for these intermediaries. However, among other conditions, Section 79 makes it clear that the protection will be available only if the intermediary observes due diligence while discharging his duties under the Act, and also observes such other guidelines that the government issues from time to time. Basically, this being one of those guidelines, the 2021 guideline. As per Section 79, the protection also doesn't apply if the intermediary has conspired or abetted or aided or induced through threats or promise or in any other way in the commission of an unlawful act. Basically, if they have sort of participated or conspired in an unlawful act. Lastly, Section 79 also goes on to clarify that once an intermediary receives actual knowledge or is notified by the government or its agencies that any information or data that they're transmitting is being used for an unlawful act, then it should remove or disable access to such a material. This is a condition for their protection under Section 79. So in essence, these new 2021 rules impose new liabilities on these intermediaries, right now specifically social media intermediaries seeking to enjoy these legal immunities offered by Section 79, and this is what they stand to lose. Now, just to give you a little context, these protections didn't always exist, but their need was felt after the famous Bazi.com case. In this case, an obscene MMS video was listed for sale on this website called Bazi.com. This website is now a 100% subsidiary of eBay.com, and among other people, then CEO of Bazi.com arrested and charge sheeted personally in the case. Now, Bajaj of course challenged the proceedings against him, contending that he should not be personally held liable for the listing on his website, and he also contended that the MMS was transferred directly between the seller and the buyer without any intervention of the website per se. Now, of course, while Bajaj was subsequently acquitted, the case brought forth concerns relating to intermediaries, and it also prompted the industry to appeal to the government to put certain protections in place. This is what led to Section 79 of the Information Technology Act. In response, basically, the Information Technology Amendment Act 2008 amended Section 79 of the Act to provide certain safe harbor provision and protection to intermediaries such as this website from the penalties under the Information Technology Act or any other law for content being made available on these platforms by third parties. So, for example, in sum and substance, in order to charge an intermediary, that is any of these platforms or other intermediaries that I mentioned before, under any law in India, even if, for example, it is for defamation under Section 499 of the Indian Penal Code, it is required to be demonstrated or shown that the company cannot be classified as an eligible intermediary, or that it does not comply with the requirements of Section 79 and now the new 2021 rules as well. There was another clarification that was issued with regard to the safe harbor provision in the landmark Shreya Singhal judgment. The Supreme Court had then ruled that the actual knowledge under Section 79, as I mentioned before and as you can see on your screens, would mean that an intermediary should be obliged to remove or block any information within the timeline was 36 hours only upon receiving actual knowledge through a court order or being notified by the government or its agency, a government agency. So basically, in that case, the Supreme Court reasoned and acknowledged that it may be nearly impossible for intermediaries like Google and Facebook to screen every takedown request sent by any person whatsoever and then decide the legality of such a takedown request or the impugned information. Now, coming to the compliances under the new 2021 rules, here's how they shake things up. For starters, it requires significant social media intermediaries to appoint a resident grievance officer, a chief compliance officer, and a nodal contact person within 3 months, which, like I told you before, ended on 25th May. All three of these officers are legally required to reside in India, and these intermediaries are also required to publish monthly compliance reports of action taken in respect of grievances received by the grievance officer. Now, these intermediaries are also required to have a physical contact address in India, prominently published on its website or mobile app. The rules also provide reduced timelines for takedown of content and for providing assistance to government agencies. So those timelines in which these intermediaries and their officers need to act have been reduced. And a more controversial rule within these 2021 rules is one requiring significant social media intermediaries, basically primarily those providing messaging services, to enable tracing of the originator of the information on their platform if they receive such a request from a court or a competent authority under Section 69A of the Information Technology Act. Now, this rule has been criticized as holding the power to put an end to end-to-end encryption. The rule does clarify that such an order would be passed only on punishment of offences relating to certain grounds. For example, it mentions sovereignty and integrity of India, security of state, friendly relations with foreign states. You can see the grounds on your screens at the moment. So basically, for serious offences, this rule also clarifies that in doing so, the intermediary would not be required to disclose the content contents of any electronic message or any information relating to the first originator or any other information relating to its other users as well. Now, while these rules change things for the intermediaries and change the compliances, it is unclear whether these rules can actually take a protection under Section 17 and under the safe harbor provision that was granted by the Parliament itself, whether these rules can take that away. Basically, this becomes a question on the validity of the rules themselves, which are currently under challenge before at least 3 high courts of the country. There are several petitions filed before the Delhi High Court, the Kerala High Court and the Karnataka High Court by petitioners, as you can see on your screens. And a 7th petition against the rules was filed by WhatsApp in the Delhi High Court on Tuesday, that is 25th of May, challenging specifically the rule that I told you earlier about in this video, which mandates them to reveal the originator of a message. Now, notices have been issued on all these petitions, so we'll just have to wait and see what the court says on the validity of these rules as well as on the result of non-compliance of these rules. As for now, this is Apurva Mandhani for The Print. For more such videos, do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.